And even how he's met it on here is, you know, he should have at least, all they've done is gone to this section here, the felt.
And he shouldn't have been on there because that's the neighbour's roof.
That's correct, yeah. He should have just been, oh, we would have put the trim up there, wouldn't we? Put a trim up so it literally bordered it all off. So it allows for, this would have been your separate flat roof.
Where they've got felt there, obviously being out to the fiberglass, you'd have some sort of, maybe like a, say, the trim up to there and then a seal going up to your roof, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, as you say, it's touch next door, it's smothered all over there. If there is to be a problem here, is it going to pull up that area? You don't, you know, you should, as you say, that's the reason where you almost border it off.
The thing is that there are gaps here as well.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant. That's what I was saying. He should have sealed that, but then I was thinking.
Seal that we would sort of use as like a bitumen seal.
Right.
But what the trim would have just built up there, cut this right down, and built the trim up. So literally, you had boxed it all into there. So this is his roof. So as you say, you start touching that. It's just so frustrating, but. That's the biggest.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It's crazy to do
they've just done the mat in there, there's nothing there.
How's it ever going to be sealed like that?
They're relying on the paint sealing it.
Yeah.
Now this business at the side there that you were talking about it being loose.
Yeah, it should have been a batten.
How do you fit that in? Do you actually have to work from the other side, or can you actually do it
from here?
You can do it from this side,
yeah. Basically, of course, we'd have to remove this. The long bits of batten are applied, and it is just as basic as a hammer and a nail, nailing the timber, a small bit of batten, just 1 inch by 2 inch.
Yeah.
And then you put adhesive on, you stick it into there, and the adhesive bites it. And then by the time you come back the next day, you put prepare it. They'll be rock solid. They won't, and then you're able to glass on top of it. So,
was that my imagination? But when you squeezed that there, it went clunk.
Yeah.
So it's loose, really.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. No battens have been put in there. So what will happen is it will slowly start to crease and crack. Yeah. It will. So especially the hot and the cold weather, it's subtracting and expanding. But the movement. Oh, what is it they tell us on that course? Like 20% difference sometimes. Depending on the weather, it will move. So that's why you always say everything's got to be tight, everything's got to be interlocked, all the boards, as Liam said, it's got to be screwed down. But in fairness, either way, but if you can't get the board solid, then that is a problem. It still should have held it. But of course, we've got the problem now. We know that he's done areas where he's not done enough at all. Very minor. Just stretching the product. Like it's £100 per tub, £120 including the VAT. So he's probably saved himself couple £100, but yeah, what a sod. You're either going to have to come back and put it right, or if you're saying it's definitely through his own works.
Was it just one person doing it, you know, or was it two of them?
There weren't always two people on the roof. Let's put it like that.
Okay.
You know?
The amount of pinholes, he's even gone over it with, like, I don't know if that was yourself, someone.
No.
So he's just he's noticed that there's gaps visible, and he's just tried plugging it up with mastic and
same around this.
Well, it's the same around the pipe there.
We can give it. It is frustrating because, of course, we have to probably find that many screw points through there. Now it's travelled through the bottom and it's making entry points. And you don't really want someone. They've messed up this big in the first time.
Yeah, sure.
I know sometimes you give people second chances, but not on here. This is trying to pull the wool over your eyes almost. So, that's just so criminal though, just this section, because you're just going to, the amount of water, and he hasn't even, at worst case, at least run the matting up to here, which they've just smothered it in with paint, and as we said, mastic it.
I think that's just a bandage strip as well. I don't think that's even the matting, which is like, it comes in like a tape, which you're supposed to use to join the bits of matting together almost.
Right here, Ian, there's so many points of entry, so... And at worst case scenario, I probably would have filled that, the leveling's not too, you know, it looks like it's running sort of off, I would have just filled that up.
So
at least put the board in, it's just sitting water there, so...
Well, the drain's meant to...
to go into that section there, so you would want to raise it anyway, so I don't understand why they've allowed it to run back. But
and again, what you'd do that by obviously more matting, more resin, just to build it up, you know.
Oh, that's no boarding under there. He's literally got a piece of matting, almost what I was suggesting, just block all that up with the fiberglass, but I'd like to say it was a bit better sort of news to say, well, we could do this, do that, but as you say, once you see the boards coming up like that, we're sort of snookered really. We've got to get them up.
Right then.